All right, so you're prepping for the UPSC, right?
Yeah.
And I bet current affairs can feel like a tidal wave of information.
It really can be overwhelming.
Yeah, but that's where our deep dives come in.
Exactly. We're going to help you not just memorize facts, but actually connect the dots.
Yeah, make that news come alive and really stick with you. Today's lineup is super diverse. We got a giant frog. This frog's been around since the dinosaurs.
A living fossil? Pretty cool.
Then we're hopping over to a brand new maritime trade route, reshaping global commerce as we speak.
Oh, and we can't forget about traditional healing making headlines with a record-breaking event.
And just to keep things interesting, we're throwing in some dark comets. Sounds kind of ominous, right?
They are pretty mysterious. So are you ready to dive in?
Let's do it. Okay, let's start with this giant frog, the helmeted water toad. It's native to Chile. I mean, picture a frog that was chilling with dinosaurs.
It's incredible they survived for so long.
I know, a real testament to resilience. But sadly, this living fossil is now facing some serious threats from things like climate change.
And habitat destruction, sadly a common story these days.
Yeah, really makes you think about the impact we're having on the planet, right? And for all you UPSC aspirants out there, this ties directly into biodiversity, conservation, and the impact of human activities on fragile ecosystems.
You know, all those key UPSC themes you need to know.
Okay, now switching gears completely, let's talk about the Chennai-Vladivostok Eastern Maritime Corridor, EMC for short. Sounds pretty dry, right? Just another trade route.
Well, on the surface, maybe.
Yeah.
But it has massive implications.
Yeah, think geopolitics, economics, the whole 9 yards.
It's really a strategic game changer. This corridor cuts down shipping time from Chennai to Vladivostok from like over 40 days
Seriously.
to just 24.
Wow. That's got to be a huge advantage for trade, right?
Absolutely. Lower costs, faster delivery, strengthens ties between India and Russia. It could even reshape the dynamics of the entire Indo-Pacific region.
It's crazy how geography, economics, and international relations all come together, right? This is exactly the kind of interconnected thinking you need for the UPSC.
You got it.
All right, let's get a little cosmic now. Dark comets. I mean, the name itself sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie.
I know, right?
So break it down for us. What are these things? And why should a UPSC aspirant even care about them?
Well, they're kind of like stealth comets. They don't have the typical bright tails.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, they're small, spinning like crazy, and they spread gas and dust everywhere. Makes them really hard to detect.
So how do we even find them?
Scientists noticed an asteroid acting weird, like it was being pulled off course. Turns out it was these dark comets messing with its orbit.
So like a hidden cosmic force.
Exactly. And this discovery really highlights something crucial for the UPSC. You got to think critically, question assumptions, and keep up with breakthroughs in, well, even fields that seem totally unrelated to the syllabus.
It's astronomy. Okay, back down to Earth now. I was reading about this recent event where they set a Guinness World Record for the most people receiving Varmam therapy at the same time.
567 people. Can you imagine?
I mean, just picture it. Hundreds of people all experiencing this ancient healing technique together. It's pretty remarkable, isn't it?
It really speaks to the growing global interest in traditional Indian medicine systems. And for you UPSC folks, this is huge.
It definitely is. I mean, traditional medicine is showing up more and more in healthcare discussions, policies, even cultural heritage debates.
And don't forget about the intellectual property rights surrounding those ancient remedies.
So it's not just history, it's about understanding how these traditions fit into our modern world.
Exactly.
All right, final stop on our whirlwind tour of current affairs. The National Green Tribunal, or NGT.
Ah, the NGT, they're making headlines again.
Yeah, that whole thing with the Kerala government and the illegal biomedical waste dumping in Tamil Nadu.
It's a tricky situation, raises a lot of questions about environmental regulations, right?
Definitely. And the NGT is right at the center of it. But this case goes way beyond just one state. It really highlights the complexity of environmental issues, how they often cross borders and require cooperation, not just within India, but globally.
Absolutely. Think about it. The NGT has to enforce laws like the Water Act, the Forest Act, the Air Act, all essential for your UPSC prep, by the way.
It's like a giant web, right?
Totally. Everything's connected.
So we've gone from giant frogs in Chile to trade routes across the ocean, from those mysterious comets in space to ancient healing traditions, and now environmental law in India.
And it all ties back to the UPSC syllabus one way or another.
See, I told you. It all connects in the end.
It's mind-boggling, right? How we can go from giant frogs to interstellar mysteries in just a few minutes.
It's like a crash course in everything, but that's what makes current affairs so exciting, isn't it? It's a window into this incredible, complex world we live in.
Absolutely. And for UPSC aspirants, it's not just about knowing the what, but the why. The connections, the implications, the big picture stuff.
Right, because let's be real, memorizing a bunch of facts won't get you very far in the UPSC. You need to analyze, you need to understand, you need to connect the dots.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And speaking of connecting dots, let's go back to that NGT case for a second.
Okay, the biomedical waste issue.
Yeah, it really highlights how environmental problems, they don't stop at state borders, you know? What happens in Kerala can impact Tamil Nadu and vice versa.
It's a reminder that cooperation is key, not just between states, but between countries. I mean, environmental challenges are global.
Exactly. Pollution doesn't carry a passport, right? So suddenly, you're not just thinking about the NGT, you're thinking about international agreements, environmental conventions, global governance structures.
It's like zooming out, getting that wider perspective.
Precisely. And for the UPSC, that broader understanding is crucial. It's not enough to know the name of an organization. You have to grasp its role in the larger scheme of things.
Okay, so shifting gears again, let's talk about those dark comets. I mean, their discovery, it wasn't just luck, right? It was the result of scientists doing what they do best, observing, analyzing, questioning.
Absolutely. They noticed something odd, an anomaly, and they dug deeper. It's a testament to scientific curiosity and a willingness to challenge the status quo.
It makes you wonder what else is out there hidden in plain sight? What other mysteries are just waiting to be unraveled?
It's exciting to think about, isn't it? And that's the thing with science. It's always evolving, always pushing boundaries. For a UPSC aspirant, it's essential to stay curious, to keep up with not just science, but technology, economics, social trends, everything.
It can feel overwhelming at times, but that's where these deep dives come in, right? We break it down, make it digestible, help you see the connections.
Exactly. We want to make this information not just understandable, but engaging and memorable.
Speaking of engaging, let's go back to that Varmam therapy record-breaking event for a moment. Imagine being there, surrounded by hundreds of people, all experiencing this ancient healing technique together.
It's a powerful image, isn't it? It speaks to the growing global fascination with traditional Indian medicine systems. Siddha, Ayurveda, Unani, they're not just ancient practices, they're part of a global conversation about health and well-being.
And for the UPSC, understanding these systems, their history, their principles, their current relevance, it's crucial. It's not just about the cultural aspect, it's about healthcare policy, intellectual property rights, even ethical considerations.
Absolutely. You could get a question about the role of traditional medicine in public health or the challenges of integrating these systems into modern healthcare. It's a multifaceted topic with a lot of UPSC potential.
It's like a bridge between the past and the present, and understanding that connection is key.
Couldn't agree more. Now, let's zoom back out to the global stage and revisit that Chennai-Vladivostok Eastern Maritime Corridor, that EMC we talked about earlier.
Right, the game changer.
Exactly. This isn't just a shortcut across the ocean. It's a strategic move with far-reaching consequences. It's about strengthening ties between nations, opening up new economic opportunities, and maybe even shifting the balance of power in the Indo-Pacific region.
It's like a thread connecting India to a larger network of global trade, each route with its own unique set of risks and rewards.
And for a UPSC aspirant, it's vital to go beyond memorizing names and locations. You need to understand the geopolitical chessboard, the economic forces at play, the security implications.
So we're back to that idea of zooming in and out, right? From a giant frog's ecosystem to the vast network of global trade, it's all connected in some way.
And that's the beauty and the challenge of current affairs and ultimately the UPSC exam itself. It's about seeing those connections, those patterns, understanding the complexity of our world, and being able to analyze and articulate it.
It's a lot to take in, but that's what makes it so rewarding, right?
Absolutely. It's about expanding your horizons, sharpening your analytical skills, and ultimately preparing yourself to tackle the challenges of tomorrow.
And on that note, we've come to the end of part 2 of our deep dive. But don't worry, we'll be back soon with part 3, where we'll continue to unravel the mysteries of current affairs and equip you with the knowledge and insights you need to ace the UPSC. Welcome back, UPSC warriors. Ready for the final leg of our current affairs marathon.
We've covered some serious ground today, haven't we? Giant frogs, hidden comets, ancient healing techniques. It's all connected.
It really is.
Yeah.
And I think this last part is going to drive that point home.
Let's do it.
All right, so before we wrap up, I want to revisit that Chennai-Vladivostok Eastern Maritime Corridor, that EMC. It's not just about faster shipping times, right?
Right. It's way bigger than that. Think about it. You're a policymaker, and you're looking at the EMC. What's going through your mind?
Well, first, I'd see the potential for increased trade between India and Russia, maybe even new industries popping up along the route.
Exactly. And then you start thinking about the strategic implications. How does this impact India's position in the Indo-Pacific? How does it affect relationships with other countries?
Yeah, and what about the challenges? Like, do we have the infrastructure to support this increased trade? How do we navigate the complex geopolitical landscape of the region?
It's like a multidimensional chess game, isn't it? So many factors to consider. And that's what makes it so relevant for the UPSC. They want to see that you can think critically, analyze complex situations, and understand the interconnectedness of things.
It's about seeing the whole board, not just one piece.
Absolutely. Now let's shift gears one last time. Those dark comets, their discovery, it really highlights the importance of scientific curiosity,
Yeah.
right?
It's like a reminder to never stop questioning, to always be looking for those hidden truths.
Imagine trying to explain this to someone who knows nothing about astronomy. You'd have to break it down, make it relatable, and highlight why it matters.
That's a good exercise for any UPSC aspirant, because ultimately that's what you're doing in the exam, right? Taking complex ideas and presenting them clearly and persuasively.
That's the key. And, throughout this deep dive, we've done just that. We've taken these seemingly random events, like a giant frog in Chile or a new trade route, and shown how they connect to the bigger picture.
We've gone from space to traditional medicine to environmental law, and with each stop, we've uncovered valuable insights that can help you in your UPSC journey.
The world is a complex and fascinating place, and the UPSC exam challenges you to understand that complexity. It's not about memorizing facts, it's about connecting the dots, analyzing information, and seeing those patterns.
So as you continue your UPSC prep, remember to stay curious, ask questions, and never stop exploring. The more you learn, the more connections you'll make, and the better equipped you'll be to tackle those challenging exam questions.
And if this deep dive has helped you in any way, even a little bit, we're thrilled. We're passionate about making current affairs accessible, engaging, and most importantly, relevant to your UPSC goals.
Absolutely. We believe that knowledge is power, and sharing that knowledge is what it's all about.
So if you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with your fellow UPSC aspirants. Let's all help each other succeed.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep striving for that dream career. We're rooting for you.